In this video presentation, we're going to talk about the 4 key trust building habits. And you know, if you are able to integrate these habits into the interactions you have with your staff, with business partners, with your clients, and with your family, it'll transform those relationships as you begin to implement these habits of trust. Now, these habits are fairly straightforward. It's not earth-shattering. But when we go through them, you'll see how sometimes we're not implementing these trust habits as effectively as we should be in the important relationships in our life. You know, when you think about it, our ability to accomplish goals, to get things done, to fulfill the missions that are important in our lives, it really is dependent on working with and through other people. So in business, it could be working with our business partners, our employees to get important goals accomplished. With family, obviously, emotional and satisfaction in our relationships will be driven by the quality of those relationships. And of course, in our intimate relationships, in our marriages and our partners, are really based on the quality of the emotional interaction. And so the 4 habits we're going to talk about are really intended to improve the quality of the relationships. And one of the key ways that we can do that is to enhance or build up trust levels with the important people in our lives. And to the extent we can raise that trust level, we'll be more effective in their eyes, and they'll be more cooperative in working with us to fulfill some goals or objectives or missions that we might have. So the main question that we always need to keep in mind when we're working with other people is the question that they have, which is, can I trust you? And to the extent that I can trust you, I'm willing to, take a risk, to expect the best, to be cooperative with you, and to support you. And so what kinds of things can we do in our daily interactions with people to facilitate the building of trust so that they can actually answer this question with a yes, absolutely, I can trust you? Well, as simple as it sounds, one of the trust building habits, and these habits come from work done by Dan Sullivan with the Strategic Coach. And Dan talked about the importance of showing up on time. And why is showing up on time important? Well, the people that we're meeting, they're taking time out of their schedules. They've made a commitment to meet with us. And when we show up on time, it's really showing respect to that individual. It's showing that we appreciate their time, that we're respectful of their time, and it is a really good trust builder in the eyes of other people that we basically fulfill our commitments to be there when we say we're going to be there. And so the question I would have is, how are you doing in this area? In the important relationships, when you say you're going to be someplace at a certain time, are you there at that time? Are you showing up when you say you're going to show up? Or are you consistently late? Are you tardy? You might always have great excuses, but to the extent that you're not showing up in time, you're late consistently, that is a significant trust eroder. It really reduces the amount of confidence that people will have in you if you're not able to at least hit this one minimum standard in terms of relationships with other people. The second trust habit is doing what you say. And so when you make a commitment to somebody, one of the ways that they're going to measure how they can trust you is whether you're able to follow up on what your commitment is. And so one of the most important things always to keep in mind is that for many of us, we'll make commitments with good intentions, but we may not really fully take into account all the different things that are going on in our life. So it's easy to overcommit. But why it's important to really be attentive to this is that when you do what you say you'll do, that you follow through, that's a huge trust builder. It really shows people that they can count on you, that you will follow up on your commitments. To the extent that what you say you're going to do doesn't happen, it's delayed, people have to be reminding you about those commitments. That isn't a trust eroder. Now, all of us get caught up in this. Life gets very, very busy. But the message really here is, if at all possible, make sure you follow through. And if you can't follow through, make sure that you contact that individual and just let them know that there's been some surprise events, maybe things have come up, and it's going to delay your ability to do what you say you were going to do. People understand that. They just want to be kept in the loop, and so you want to be proactive and initiate that communication with them. The third trust habit is to finish what you start. Many of us are quick starts. We really get excited about new ideas and concepts, and we start with a flurry of activity and lots of excitement, but we get bogged down, and we never get things to full completion. Or if we do, we really lose a lot of steam as we go into these projects and try to bring them to fruition. So in your interactions with people, once you start a project, once you make a commitment, make sure you follow through. Make sure that you are someone that people can count on to finish the tasks that have been appointed to you, that you've been taking on. And that's a huge trust builder. So we have show up on time, do what you say you will do, and finish what you start. Now, those are really, really important habits. The last of the 4 trust habits is to say please and thank you. You know, I think one of the tragedies in our busy modern world is that I don't think there's enough just social graces and just common courtesy. You know, the art of just, you know, writing a note of thanks to someone, taking the time to initiate those little gestures throughout our day where we actually take the time to say thank you. When somebody does something for us, we actually you know, initiate that thank you. We say please. It's very respectful, and it really greases the tracks of relationships in our lives. It's common courtesy. And it may seem like a simple thing, but you will stick out to the extent that you are being, you know, respectful of people, and you're saying thank you, and you're saying please. They're basic things, you know, manners that we should have learned long, long ago, and along the way we forget about them. We hustle bustle through our day, we buller our way through our day, we rush around, and we never stop to sort of, in that moment, say to someone, look them in the eye and just say, thank you for that effort, or thank you for getting that job looked after, or can you please get this done for me? You know, maybe somebody works for you, and maybe there's an expectation that they will do what you ask them to do, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, can you please get this report done for me? I need it for a meeting coming up in the next week. Or, thank you so much for attending to this task. Yes, it's their job. Yes, it's a role that they're fulfilling. Yes, it's a task that maybe in the home environment you feel just needs to be done. You don't need to be saying please and thank you. But I would encourage you to rethink that really to say please and thank you are powerful words, and they really do help to build up trust as we interact with various people in our lives. Now, the final comments I'd make about these 4 trust principles is it's very easy not to do them in our relationships. Like I said, we get busy. But I think every day you want to focus on, am I showing up on time? Am I doing what I say I will do? Am I finishing what I'm starting with my relationships? And am I saying please and thank you? And what I would encourage you to do is go through a list of the important relationships. Maybe pick one relationship, maybe a family relationship, a business relationship or work relationship, and then look at a relationship, if you're in a marriage or partnership, look at that relationship. And then look at each of these 4 trust habits and assess whether you are really fulfilling these things in the interactions. And if you are not, then make it a goal over the next week that you will show up on time, and that you will say please and thank you, that you will do what you say you'll do, and you'll finish what you start. And I think if you can apply those things consistently, it may not make a difference right away, but over time people will recognize you're trying to change. They'll see the changes. And as you see those changes and as you follow through in these trust habits, you'll begin to building up trust. At a practical level in business, it'll lead to more referrals, and in our relationships with our families and our spouses or partners, it'll improve the intimacy and the quality of those relationships in our lives. So thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. We have other helpful resources on our website at www.takechargeofchange.com. Don't hesitate to email us if you have any additional questions. Have a great day.